I'm baffled by the Kevin Durant and even at one point Devin Booker trade talk. Like, did everybody lose their minds in the last 3 days?
It
when I
came
was
out
gone?
of nowhere for me as well. Stephen A. Smith, I heard his comments, and I'm just thinking, and he was so adamant about it.
That doesn't sound like him at all.
You don't want to make an enemy out of me. And I'm looking right into the camera, and I'm going to say it again. You do not want to make an enemy out of me.
So that was directed at Kevin Durant like 9 years ago, right? We figured out it was like October 2015.
You wanted to dredge that up, didn't you?
Well, because I'm sorry, that affects my opinion of anything Stephen A. Smith says about Kevin Durant. Honestly, it's affected my opinion on Stephen A. Smith saying anything about anybody. Like, I find him entertaining sometimes, and by all accounts, he's a really good dude, but I'm not going to him for my Kevin Durant trade information, I can tell you that.
So they dislike each other, from what we can tell, based on that soundbite.
For anybody that doesn't remember that or didn't hear that, that is legitimately Stephen A. Smith in 2015 looking into the camera, and I don't think it was an act, like essentially threatening Kevin Durant. Now, I don't know if they've patched things up off and on since then. I don't know, but I can just tell you that, again, he's entertaining. He is good at what he does if you like that, but I would trust the next person I see walking through the parking lot right now more in terms of if you're talking about Kevin Durant getting traded.
Actual information. And well, then you had the tweet from Matt Ishbia himself, which is not KD himself, but the owner of the team.
The owner, yeah.
Saying essentially, I don't know the exact wording, but basically it's like, we love Kevin. He loves it. He likes it here, or whatever it was, and that basically this is what's great about the draft or something, but we kind of squelching all of that, right? Squelching all the rumors.
Well, because originally what Stephen A. said earlier this week was that the Suns want out of Kevin Durant was basically how he worded it. So then Matt
And
Ishbia,
he was like, I am reporting.
Yeah.
I am reporting. Like, he said it twice.
Did he mention that he could get him on FaceTime like Ocho or anything? Or did he talk about his sources?
My sources.
So, yes, Jody, to your point, Matt Ishbia jumped on X and wrote out NBA Draft Night's the best. Everybody talking about the drama and storylines. Some are right, some are just wrong. My turn. Phoenix loves Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant loves Phoenix, and we are competing for a championship this year because we have the team to do it. And then he went on. But yeah, I guess technically Matt Ishbia can't talk for KD. So the second part of that sentence you could find issue with. But when Stephen A. Smith's initial report, in his words, was that the Suns don't want Kevin Durant, and the owner of the Suns says, yeah, we do, that should pretty much be the end of that story, right? But that's not how this works, obviously. So here's Stephen A. calling, I guess he's calling Matt Ishbia a liar, or he's saying Matt Ishbia doesn't know what Matt Ishbia is thinking. I don't know. Here's Stephen A.
All right, Stephen A., are you buying Ishbia's comments about KD?
Hell no. Hell no, of course not. First of all, let's understand something. From what I'm being told, Kevin Durant ain't too keen on staying in Phoenix. He ain't demanding no trades or anything, but he wouldn't mind being up out of there. That's number one. Number two, don't tell me Matt Ishbia is all sold on this after you just got bounced out via a sweep at the hands of the Minnesota Timberwolves in the first round of the daggone playoffs. You think about the assets that you could potentially get for a superstar the likes of Kevin Durant. You can't tell me that's something that Matt Ishbia is not going to entertain just because he's committed to him being in Phoenix. It all depends on the assets that you can get. I know they don't want to let go of Devin Booker. I know Devin Booker doesn't want to leave Phoenix. If he were to leave Phoenix, he wouldn't mind being a Knick, but he doesn't want to leave Phoenix. He's the face of that franchise, and we homegrown. We get all of that. But in the end, what it comes down to is this. Kevin Durant, even at the age of 35, is still a superstar in this game. But he's not there for the long haul. And unless you talk about winning the title in the immediate future, which I don't think the Phoenix Suns should be thinking about when you just got swept, even though Mike Budenholzer is your new coach, I think the bottom line is you got to entertain all options. I'm not saying he's going to trade Kevin Durant, but if the opportunity presents itself, you're damn right he will.
Okay, so I don't even know how many times he just contradicted himself in that one. But first of all, I love how he managed to try and get another great player to the Knicks, which is why his credibility shot.
Yeah, Devin wouldn't mind. Look, I have so many thoughts on this.
The original cut that Aaron played where he was looking at the camera threatening KD from 9 years ago stemmed from him saying KD was going to the Lakers 9 years ago. Pretty sure KD hasn't played for the Lakers yet. So, the credibility
Look,
of this stuff's out the window. Sorry.
All right, so I have a couple thoughts, and they do contradict. So first of all, I disagree, just his most recent comment there about they can't contend or they shouldn't be thinking about that. I disagree with that. To me, when I look at that collection of players last year, I see a lot of talent, but a lot of dysfunction.
Yeah.
Highlighted to me by what I read immediately when they were bounced from the playoffs, the mysterious nature of these guys drives me nuts. Okay? That they don't seem to, they didn't last year. Maybe Mike Budenholzer will fix that. They don't seem to communicate, to let out whatever the problems are. Let's talk through it. Let's get on the same page. And I think KD is part of that. And so the other side for me is, yes, he's a great player, but what kind of teammate is he if he's not? And he played great. Like last year, I mean, Kevin Durant was the most consistent guy on the
Played
team, right?
75
but why did it
games.
not feel cohesive? Why did it not feel like everyone was pulling together? Why did it not look like they were having fun? I have so many questions about all of that. But the other side of
But
it
you
is,
still should be going for it. You went all in when you built this team.
I
So
have no doubt they could, with the talent that they have, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, other pieces that they're going to add that we don't even know about yet. But, I mean, besides Jesse, Bol.
yes.
Bol.
Just mention Bol so Jesse stopped singing
Just throwing
Panic
out
at the
Bol
Disco.
Bol. But do they have weaknesses? Yes, defense was a major weakness. But offensively, and I wouldn't mind seeing Bradley Beal act as a point guard personally. That's another 15-minute segment, right?
Well, it might be longer than 15. There's a difference between saying the Suns are going to win the title this year and saying the Suns should be competing to win the title. You better be competing because you mortgaged your future to put this team together.
Right.
So as I'm listening to more of that cut from Stephen A., he's just like, well, yeah, but I'm sure they wouldn't mind trading. Yeah, I'll tell you what. If Milwaukee comes up like, we'll give you Giannis and some picks, and maybe we'll throw in Dame, and as some sort of weird twist, Minnesota's going to throw in Anthony Edwards too as part of a 3-2. Yeah, then you would. But that's a whole lot different than we have to trade Kevin Durant or Kevin Durant doesn't want to be here. You can't just make stuff up and say you're reporting it, and then when you're wrong, be like, the next.
But does this stem from, I would say this, is it kind of a situation like where there's smoke, there's fire? Is there something going on, the undercurrent of this team that isn't right? I'm not
I think
saying
that's
that
a different conversation.
they don't want to trade it, but that's the vibe that I get. I don't think that they do want to trade him, and I don't really think that I don't know, maybe he does want out. I'm not sure. But I feel like something's wrong. The fact that this report, it feels erroneous, but there feels like there's also something to the fact that there is dysfunction here.
Well, I would hope that specifically KD and Booker were unhappy with the way the season went, right? I mean, you would hope that. It feels like now that KD's here, there's that national spotlight of, okay, well, if they're not happy, they must both want to go play for the Knicks, right? Or maybe one on the Knicks and one on the Lakers, because every Stephen A. report ends with somebody going to the Knicks or the Lakers. So I'm sure that there's a level of unhappiness, and we'll get into this later on in the show. If they do the same thing this upcoming season, then yeah, I would think that they probably will blow things up. But if you're telling me, basically he's saying Matt Ishbia just traded a lot for Kevin Durant 16 months ago, and now he's done with them. And Matt Ishbia's like, no, I'm not. And Stephen A's like, yeah, you are. You just don't know what you're thinking. That's basically what he's saying.
Well,
right?
Matt Ishbia wants this to work. And
He
I
has
know,
to.
and I think James Jones wants it to work, and that's why they're running this back.
James Jones flat out said we're not trading Kevin Durant. Stephen
So
A's
we're
like,
just
no,
going
you
to
don't know that
ignore
either.
Stephen A.
Thanks for watching Wolf and Luke. Tap to see more and click the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.